Hello. In my last video I talked about the blurring of the distinction between fine art and applied art, and in this session I'm going to be looking at sculpture, again traditionally always in the fine art category, sold through art galleries or made to order for rich patrons. From the 1920s it was increasingly commissioned for commercial production, and it was sold by jewellers and department stores, and people bought sculptures to decorate their tables and their mantelpieces. The defining archetypal Art Deco sculpture was made of bronze and ivory. It's known as chryselephantine. Ivory, of course, a strict no-no in our more enlightened times, but it was seen differently in the 1920s. Other expensive finishes included damascening, this is inlaying one metal with another, lacquering, but most commonly cold painting, so using oil paints most typically, and then not fired, so cold painted. This Harlequin table lamp is by a man called Marcel Buran, made in the 1920s, silvered, enamelled and cold painted. Figurines were very popular, and one of the big names of the period was Dmitry Chiparus. Born in Romania, studied art in Florence and Paris, set up his studio in Paris, best known for his bronze and his ivory figures. He also worked in terracotta, in spelter, in porcelain and in marble. This fun dancer cold painted bronze and ivory on an onyx base with some glass. Dates to around 1928. Now Chiparus modelled in plasticine. That had been invented by an art teacher from Bath, William Harbert, in the late 1890s. And then Chiparus sold his models to foundries for them to be cast, and many of the foundries had ivory carving workshops attached to them, and the component parts were assembled along a central pin at the core. This is called book lady. Now Chiparus was influenced by the ballet russe and by cabaret, as with this chorus line and his tango dancers, and also by ancient cultures and civilizations, one of our key Art Deco motifs. This is Shiva, and here we have the mythical Assyrian queen Semiramis. Now the use of a pantograph, invented by French engineer Achille Colas, enabled three-dimensional scaling of models so that sculptures could be offered in different sizes. I'll show you a couple more examples of the work of Dmitry Chiparus. This figurine, you have a look at the base, you also see a sunburst motif, stylized nature, again one of our Art Deco themes. Now Chiparus was modelling for commercial production, but at the one-off fine art end of the scale, Art Deco ideas were also being assimilated. This gilt bronze figure is called the Greek Dance. It's 1926, and it was made by Carl Paul Genevine. It was also reproduced in gold and silver. This is his Cupid and Gazelle, and Cupid and Crane, both cast in bronze. Boris Lovatlowski, born in Lithuania, studied in St. Petersburg, then moved to Paris and eventually to the USA. He was more unusual in that he carved directly with his material rather than producing models for casting. But he drew on Art Deco themes, geometric lines, African tribal influences. This white marble bust, around 1927, the Art Deco motif of the classical nude updated. Jan and Joel Martel, identical twins, born in Nantes, moved to Paris to set up their studio, produced some very sophisticated designs like these stylized pigeons in terracotta and this nude figurine. Gustav Miklos, born in Budapest, moved to Paris, strongly influenced by tribal art, take a look at these heads. Cast in bronze using the lost wax technique, and here with some gilded detailing added afterwards. Johann Philipp Price served an apprenticeship as an ivory carver and then set up his workshop in Berlin, producing mostly small scale but highly detailed figures like this flame leaper, cold painted bronze. One of his larger figures, this is about 20 inches high. Cast in a local Berlin foundry, sold throughout Germany but available in the UK. Department stores such as Waring and Gillows stocked these figurines. This is the goddess Diana. Now, including the base, she's only about 12 inches high. His range of gymnastic young women proved popular. This is called Spring Awakening, cold painted bronze and ivory. And again, cold painted bronze and ivory, the Sun Worshipper. Paul Manship was an American, studied in Europe and then took Art Deco ideas and influences back to the US. Best known for the gilt bronze Prometheus at the Rockefeller Plaza in New York. But see also his crane and gazelles with a female figure. These are both in the Smithsonian American Art Museum in Washington. And finally in this category I'm going to mention John Gregory. He was born in London, moved to America, and this statue was inspired by a Robert Browning poem. It's called Lyric Love, and it stands at Baylor University in Waco, Texas. Now, something different for the next session. I'm going to take you through the keyhole of an Art Deco gem created by Virginia and Stephen Courtauld, Eltham Palace. If you've enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons and click on the notification bell to be informed when the next video is available, or you can subscribe by clicking on the rose window over my shoulder.